guys, Brian Stevens here with Mortgage Shots. I have my good friend Craig Barton with me, a loan officer down in Southern California who's built a remarkable team out there, and these guys are killing it right now. I always talk about having a recession-proof business, but before we get into that, how do you see the market right now, and what scares you about it, Craig?
Well, nothing really scares me about it except that you can't be complacent. You have to go a little wider. There's not as many transactions going out there for all of us, the realtors and the loan officers. So you have to kind of think, with your realtor hat on, gee, they don't have as many on there. So you can't expect them to be throwing in deals all the time. So if you're working with 12 or 13 or 20 realtors, maybe you need to go out to 35 or 40 realtors to work with. But have conversations with them. Use the darn phone. Don't expect TikTok to get you the business. Use the phone. I think I did a thing on TikTok and I got 20,000 views on it right away, but that's not the thing that's going to bring in business. The thing's going to bring in business is the relationships you have with them. Be a problem solver. Brian, you talked to me the other day about like a one closing on a construction loan for a VA guy. Those are interesting things. The non-QM space. I think there's about 38% of the business out there is non-QM space right now. Big banks can't do that stuff. So you need to be a problem solution. Just, be the lifesaver on the deals.
It's funny you bring that up. So yesterday we went out to the site where they're going to build a house. I had both realtors out there, by the way, who are doing $1 million this year in business. $1 million in business this year.
Wow.
And we had the borrowers out there, and we also had the contractors out there. And so when we were leaving to go meet everybody, I thought, what a great opportunity. So we brought a backpack full of ice cold water on a hot day, and handed out waters to everybody and tried to make an event out of the whole thing.
I thought it was be beer, but that's okay.
Well, the one of the realtors, he goes, Brian, I thought this would have been better if you brought me a beer. And I'm like, duly noted. Next time I will. But that deal last night, Craig, it fell through. So they didn't get the offer. But here's my point. They're now going to buy $1 million house. And had it not been for me following up with the whole construction deal, I would have never gotten the deal in the first place. So
right.
Our non-QM deals, our construction deals, or whatever it is that diversifies our portfolio just makes us better at everything. My non-QM deals get me QM deals. And I think that's a big part that a lot of loan officers don't understand. You just can't go after the meat and potatoes.
Right.
You have to understand everything that's on the menu.
I think, too, is that the low-hanging fruit is kind of gone.
Yeah.
The real low-hanging fruit is going out wide and talking to those realtors, doing meetings with them. So if you can get a meeting with 8 or 10 realtors and sit down with them, kind of show them what you're doing, what's different. We just closed a transaction. It's kind of a tricky transaction. I don't do a lot of business with the listing agent. That opened an opportunity for me to talk with the listing agent and the things that we can do versus her current lender that she works with. Yeah. The current lender she works with, I know the gal, she does a great job, but a lot of things in our space we can do that they can't do.
Well, it's texture on the canvas.
Yep.
It just makes the picture a little bit better in understanding all these products. And gone are the days of, and I really feel bad for loan officers who are still waiting for the, taking ticket days of rates of 2s and 3s. Those days aren't coming back. Frankly, I think we're just in a normal market right now.
Well, we're in the same market as we were in 2017, 2018 rate-wise. There's not much difference.
So what is it that you're doing that gives you the advantage? Because right now you're closing 3, 4, 5, 6 deals per month, somewhere in that area, and you've got a bunch of loan officers who are finding equal success. What is it that you're doing that makes you more successful? And guys, I got to preface this. I do understand a certain part of what Craig's doing right now, and this is what I really want to get across. On his email campaigns, he'll get like a 70, 80% open rate. I don't get that on the show. It's amazing what he's doing. It doesn't matter if you're sending that to 2 or 3 realtors or 50 or 100 realtors. When you get that open rate, what that tells me is you've got people engaged in your messaging. So how do you do that?
Well, first of all, your messaging has to be relevant to them. It has to be really current. I do something called the broker opens that I send out to agents. And we send it out Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. 4 days a week, these realtors get an email from me.
And they open it.
They open it. And we get anywhere from a 45 to 70% open rate on stuff. I kind of consider an open rate anything less than 30%. It wasn't a good send because you got 70% of the people didn't look at it. And I think you need to go through your database and find out who you can send to, who you can't. The ones that don't open up, great, pull them off. You don't want to bug them anyhow and plug up their mail. It might be in spam, who knows. But if you can send out emails and find out who's opening it, then that gives you a great audience to call. So you're not cold calling. So, Brian, if I sent you an email and you open it up 3 or 4 times over the last week and I call you on the phone, you're going to know exactly who I am. So you have to develop some kind of system where they're opening it up and then you follow up with a phone call. And have some kind of intelligence in your software saying some kind of scoring system, where they're at, I use BombBomb. There's probably other products out there to work with. I'm just comfortable with that. But it gives me great intelligence of who to call, who not to call. So if I'm sending out, I'll use a number of 500 people. And out of those 500 people, 250 people open it up. But out of the 250 people that open it up, 30 people open it up 4 times. Those are the ones I want to call. That's the low-hanging fruit.
How many phone calls do you make a day? Just ballpark. Stink out.
I spend probably about 2 to 2.5 hours a day, and I try to make at least 35 to 40 calls. Now, those are calls. Those are not conversations. So really what I got to boil it down is conversations. I probably have anywhere from 10 to 12 conversations with agents. Some are new agents that I'm trying to pull in to work with. Some are just follow-up agents, and agents that I have deals going on with, or agents I may have deals going on with, or just questions I have going on. But I think it's important to be on the phone and interact with them. Do the agents pick up the phone? No, they don't. So you got to figure out how to get on the phone with them. Some agents, I have a guy, very successful agent. All he does is text back and forth. So with him, I got to text. I'm not a big texter, so I got to text if I want to play ball with him. So you got to change your modus operandi, so who you're working with.
I call that, speaking the language of the clients who you covet.
Right.
The language isn't French or English. The language is technology. Some people like instant messaging. Some people like calls. Some people like texting.
Exactly.
We have to be fluent in those languages.
Right.
Like it or not, and or if you don't like it and you're going to do things on your terms, you're going to be irrelevant real quickly. I have a realtor I'm working with right now, and his wife, who's a realtor with him, says, well, the one thing he can't stand is people who don't respond to him.
Right.
And I thought, boy, I'm going to over communicate on this one. And it was like 3 days before he responded to me. I'm like, well, so much for the over communicator. But on day 3, I got a phone call back from him. He goes, man, I'm so sorry about this. He goes, I've just been inundated. I didn't know what was going on with his business. And since then, he's been the person that I thought he was going to be. So sticking with it, not telling myself lies about, the agent whose business I covet,
right.
It came back to me in spades. And because he didn't respond, he feels like I'm the over communicator now. And so the follow through with this thing, it served me well. And I have an agent right now who's wonderful and thinks I walk on water. And a guy right now is doing $1 million per year. In the coming months, this is what I'm really excited about. We're going to be getting together. I'm going to be bringing my team and what we do well with recession-proof business to the table, and you're bringing your team to the table. So
exactly.
Do me a favor. Give me a couple of examples of messages that you send out to realtors and referral partners that are getting open rates of, upwards of 70%.
You can see these open rates here, 50, 56, 67%, 59%. These are pretty much the same group of people I send to. I can go back, kind of show you what that template looks like and what that is. It's nothing really that different. We try to have our stuff going out there that looks clean. I sent something about bridge loans, and I used like the Gordie Howe Bridge in Detroit of ours, bridging the gaps. I kind of used a narrative of that. We got a great open rate on that. I think we got like a 68% open rate on that going out to agents. So you can kind of see what's happening on that. Let me go down to, let's go to broker opens here. So this goes out to agents in our area, in the Torrance, South Bay area. And this goes out Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So on Wednesday, there's an area called the San Pedro area that we sell to broker opens. So they get a little, well, what they get is this. I pop this open, and it gives us who the agents are and what the sales price and what's going on. And then I have a little commercial down below telling us about how products and things that we can work with. But I have any information, my phone number on the top here, and get them to call. So from this, I can figure out who's opening it, and then in turn, start calling those people. So that's another one. Let's go down to, here's one, DSCR, and just show them what's going on. And there's a link to the loan application, secure upload, blah, 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 blah. You get it. You guys are all doing a little bit of this. So you just got to tweak it a little bit to make it happen.
Now, here's the cool part, and why I like us getting together and becoming a team, is you get an open rate of 50, 60, 70%. You're back calling all these agents. If I go to your same city of San Pedro, California, I only work with recession-proof realtors who have a good business. So we have 284 unbranded listings right now, and we have 221 unbranded agents. What that means is we don't have them working with anybody in our system. So if we go down here, I'm looking at Rick Rivera. He's got 876 listings at 850 sales price. So these are all renters, okay? Renters. Now, if we go down here, this is where the rubber meets the road. If I go to Mike Chow, he's with KW Executive. He has 20 listings with a median sales price of over $1 million. I'm going to call this guy. I'm going to add him to your list and see if we can get him to be a part of your open rate. Now, if I click on Mike Chow, what it's going to do is it's going to pull up all of his listings, his phone number, and here's what he has. So we're going to call him up and ask him questions about his business and see if we can become a part of it and bring our marketing to the table. So you're going to stay in front of him with great content, and we're going to backfill with great marketing for him. And when we put these two things together, your business and my business right now is going to be incredible.
Right.
Because right now, I do have a recession-proof business. I've got 16 loans on the table as we sit here today. But with your marketing and our team, we're going to do something great because we also bring the best rates to the table. So listen, guys, if you want to become part of the Craig Barton, Brian Stevens team at the Loan Factory, we have over 250 lenders. We have the best rates, and I mean that because we get volume discounts at what we're doing at the Loan Factory. Check us out. All you have to do is fill out the information down below, and we will have a discreet conversation about how we can make you recession-proof like me and Craig.